Alright, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing transmission. This is your host, Mr. BDA. Thank you for joining us. In this episode, I want to talk about something that I'm very excited about and that I've talked about in past podcasts, but I'm going to reiterate it here for anybody that's crazy and doesn't listen to the podcast, and that is the 140-pound tournament that is being planned by the World Boxing Super Series. They did it with cruiserweights, a little bit less successfully with the super middleweights, but now they're planning to do one with bantamweights and, like I said, 140 pounds, the junior welterweights. And the lineup that they've offered, it's a tentative lineup, it's still nothing is settled, but man, if it comes to fruition, boy oh boy, is this going to be one of the best things to happen in boxing in recent years. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about here. This is an article from the 8th of May by Mike Coppinger, and still, they haven't really updated anything of this. They still haven't made an official announcement, although I hear that this week they're going to be making an announcement, or possibly next week, to finally announce something big, which might just be this tournament. But look at the names they're mentioning here. Kiril Relic, Prograis, I think it's Prograis. Somebody told me in the chat that it's Prograis. Edward Troyanovsky, Baranchyk, who else was there? Yigit, who's an undefeated Swede. Josh Taylor might just be in there. Ryan Martin. So some of you might not be familiar with all these guys. So just to recap real quick who these guys are. Let's start out with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor just scored a win over Victor Postal. A little harder than most people expected. Although, again, shouldn't have been surprised since Victor Postal is a hell of a fighter. Josh Taylor was able to win. Again, the scorecards, though, a little iffy there. The fact that it was taking place in his home country of Scotland, Taylor's that is. And it seems like the scorecards were filled way in advance. I mean, they were just too wide for such a competitive fight. But then again, I do think Josh Taylor deserves to win. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really change all that much. But it's going to be interesting to see if the tournament does take place, whether Josh Taylor is always going to be allowed to fight in Scotland. But anyway, he got that win over Postal, and he's tentatively said that he wants in on the tournament. Then let's go to Kiril Relic. He's 28 years old, from Belarus. He's 5'9.5", and if you remember his last fight, he beat up Rances Barthélemy. He lost to him in the first fight, very close fight, again controversial decision since we're on the subject of controversy, but in the rematch he came in prepared and showed you what a monster he is. Look at his record, 22 wins, 19 knockouts. I think against higher level opposition, he's not going to be stopping anybody with single shots, but you saw how he fought against Barthélemy. He's a buzzsaw. This guy just comes forward, sticks to your chest, kind of a little bit like Shafikov in the lightweight division, or was it? Yeah, lightweight division. He is that type of fighter. He'll just stick on you and let his hands go, and he will not let you breathe. Then you have Edward Troyanovsky, who appears to be the weak link of the division. He's 38 already, from Russia, 27 wins, 24 knockouts. He's the one that lost to Indongo in an upset. Since then, he's rebounded against European opposition, Michel Di Rocco. Nice flashy record. And then, of course, you look at it and you see that he hasn't fought anybody. And Carlos Manuel Portillo from Paraguay. Again, Xar Amonsot from the Philippines. I think he's the guy that fought, what's his name? The Greek Australian guy. I already forgot his name. Jeez, I'm forgetting names now. But anyway, that was 10 years ago. So that guy, the Filipino guy, might have been old. But so that's Troyanovsky. I don't know what he's going to be able to do in this tournament. And I think he's already been pitted against Relikh as the first fight in case the tournament does take place. Then you have Ivan Baranchyk, 18 wins, 11 knockouts. Another fighter from Belarus. And in his last fights, he beat up the very tough Peter Petrov. I think he stopped him in somewhere around the 5th or 6th round. It was a brutal beating. But then you look at his fight against the undefeated Keenan Smith, and it was a very sloppy affair. Mostly because of Keenan's tactics. He was holding a lot, moving a lot, trying to make it rough. Didn't really want to exchange with Baranchyk. So it's going to be interesting to see whether the Petrov fight, which was against a natural lightweight, was a bit of a mirage, or Baranchyk is that good. Then you have Anthony Yigit, who's going to be taking on Baranchyk in the first fight, again, if the tournament takes place. 26 years old, from Sweden, 21 wins, 7 knockouts. Not a big puncher, he's a southpaw. And you look at his opposition, again, nothing out there that stands out too much. DeMarcus Corley, really the only recognizable name, and he's, what, 50 or something like that nowadays? So it's hard to tell. Then again, he took on a fellow undefeated guy by majority decision. I'd have to watch that fight to see whether it was really a majority decision or whether Yigit outboxed him comprehensively. Sandor Martin, nice little record, but again, I don't know who these guys are. I'm gonna have to do more research. But from the fights that I've seen from Yigit, I've only seen 2 fights. He looks pretty good there. Then you have Ryan Martin, the X factor in this division. 20, how old is he? 20, all right, whatever. He's in his 20s. 5'11", pretty tall guy. Don't confuse him with Maurice Hooker. This ain't the same guy. All right, this is a different guy. 22 wins, 12 knockouts. And you look at his record here, the biggest, I recognize Brian Cruz and Brady's Prescott. Of course, you all know Prescott as a guy who knocked out Amir Khan about 10 years ago. But then again, you look at Prescott's recent record, 12 losses, and I think there was an 8-round contest. So Martin, as far as I know, has never gone past 10. Maybe hasn't even made it past to the 12th. I don't know, I'm not sure. But there you have it. He wants in, and then of course, like I said, Taylor, and then you have Regis Prograis, 29 years old already, so it's time to move fast. He's 5'8", very strong guy. Impressed a lot of people by taking out Julius Indongo. The Joel Diaz Jr. fight I haven't seen. Apparently, it's a pretty good indicator of how good Prograis is as well. So I'm going to have to check that out. And then he's taking this summer, Juan Jose Velasco from Argentina. Now, again, these Argentinians, he's 20 wins, 20-0 with 12 knockouts, and he's 31 already. It's kind of hard to gauge these Argentinians because you look at the record, it's a flashy, glossy record, undefeated record. But then they come out and they either suck or they're very good. Like there's rarely any in between with unknown Argentinians. I've seen him fight on YouTube, a couple of his fights. He looks like a very well-grounded fighter who sets his feet properly, on balance. He can punch a little bit. But Prograis, apparently, he might just be on another level. But it's going to be an interesting fight to see what happens. So that's the tournament, guys. So far, a lot of good names. I'm very excited for it. I'd like to know who you think is going to be the favorite. Who do you think I mean, I know, I'm guessing a lot of you are probably going to say it's Prograis who's going to take it, but Baranchyk is a very tough fighter. So is Josh Taylor. And maybe this sweet guy, what's his name again, Yigit, might just do something. Maybe Kiril Relic, again, Relic, let me put you, watch his, if you didn't see the rematch against Barthélemy, watch that. It's a beautiful display of pressure, aggression, activity, mixed in with some very good footwork and upper body movement. I mean, this Relic guy, he is dangerous as well. It's going to take a real strong fighter and competent fighter at that to really beat him comprehensively. So again, it's a hell of a tournament. You guys, the 140-pound division is back. It's a shame Terence Crawford isn't there anymore because this would have been a great division for him to take part in. Then again, he's at welterweight now. He's probably going to fight some big names there, so nothing much lost in that respect. So again, guys, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what do you think about 140-pound tournament. Do you think it takes place? Do you think they're going to be able to pull it off? Who should they have as a replacement? Because, in tournaments, you get 8 fighters. Sometimes things go wrong. They don't go exactly as planned. So who do you think should be there as a replacement? Should they get a guy like what's his name, Lipinets? Or does he think he's above it and wouldn't want to be a late replacement? I mean, you guys let us know, right? Don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button, subscribe to BDA Live, subscribe to Second Renaissance. We want to do a show this week, a Second Renaissance show, talk about something, the more weird, the weirder, the better. That's the way we do it here at BDA Boxing. And as always, don't forget to check out our Patreon page. And we'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care.